Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Franchise Empire Weekly Newsletter, normally hosted by our leader, Tarek Johnson, who couldn't make today. So I'm Mark Magerman. I'm in charge of the brokerage for our company. I've been on these with Tarek quite a bit, so hopefully we won't miss a beat, even though I know that Tarek always lends a tremendous amount of value. But as always, we have a very exciting update on a couple of resales, and my good friend Rahman is in the behind the scenes helping me through this presentation. So you know what, Rahman, I think we could probably put the newsletter up on the screen so we can get started. As you see, we're talking to you guys as empire builders, not a coincidence. The name of our company is Franchise Empire. So we're always talking about building these empires with you folks. So we're going to share specific franchise opportunities that we think are interesting and examples of everyday people just like yourselves who have benefited from not only our newsletters, but who made themselves very successful as franchisees. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about a really unique franchise with average sales of over $8.9 million. No, that is not a misprint. It is a very robust brand with a lot of tentacles and a lot of ways to make a lot of money. As always, we do discuss resales. There's always caveats with resales, which of course I'll get into. But this one is in Florida, averaging has $2.1 million in sales. And again, those numbers, if you see the two asterisks on the screen, they're non-verified own information from the franchise owner. So like any other resale, all the information that we'll give you has been given to us. It's not audited. Obviously, anybody interested in purchasing a resale should have their own accountant and their own lawyers and their own people to verify these numbers. But $2.1 million in sales for this resale. We've got a really amazing testimony about these three partners, lifelong friends who found perfect franchise for them up in the Long Island, New York area, and a little deep dive into how franchising really works with an example with Subway, which we'll get into before we're done as well. So with that being said, again, obviously, if anybody's on this live and you want to add some, you want to contribute to our conversation, please do so. And if not, and you're listening it on recording, we'd love you to like it, and we'd love to know where you're from, where you're hearing, where you're listening to us from. So without any further ado, Rahman, can we continue on? Scroll down, please. So this is first a little update for all you folks out there. So most people, when they come to us, and the reason they come to us is because they really want to find the right franchise. So if you're struggling to find that franchise, or maybe you've worked with a different broker or a different consultant and you just haven't been able to have success, one of the real huge benefits of Franchise Empire for our candidates is our proprietary software program called Zero to Profitable Franchise System, which prior to today came with a price tag on it. It was an available program that people could purchase. We are now offering our program. We're giving you complimentary access to the full suite of Zero to Profitable Franchising System, which will help you get access to the most proven franchise, help you reduce your risks so that you can buy a money-making franchise with confidence and protect your assets. It's exclusively available for franchise buyers that want to work with our team in a brokerage capacity to find, vet, and launch a money-making franchise. Now, I would say, since I am on the brokerage team, that you shouldn't need an extra incentive to work with our stable of brokers who are fantastic. But this is a little incentive that not only will you get the expertise and the guidance that we provide to our candidates, but we'll also be giving you access to this amazingly successful Zero to Profitable franchise program. So please take us up on that. And if you want to get involved, you can schedule a free consultation with our team to see if you qualify for being a franchise owner and if we're the right fit to work together. You'll find that out as well. And to find that out and to get started, please www.franchiseempire.com facebook.com/ZPTF. That's Zebra, Thomas, Pumpkin, Francine, and you'll get loaded in. We will be able to reach out to you, and we really hope you take advantage of it. We've also found that candidates that do enroll in our program, Rahman, I don't know if you have the number, but I think I'm right when I say this, are about 50% more likely to ultimately end up as franchise owners. So this stuff really works, and we're really proud of it. So please take us up on that. We hope to see you on one of our Zoom calls soon. Thanks. So let's get into the resale, okay? Again, but the caveat with resales are you've really got to spend time understanding why these resales are available. In some brands, like the one we're talking about, it's a little bit more straightforward. But please, if you're looking in resales and you find a resale that you might be interested in, the best advice I always give is please be pre-qualified financially by a lender so you can show the selling franchise owner that you're a qualified candidate. That moves you up in the line of people looking to purchase this business versus the back of the line. And I'll tell you, if you're in the back of the line, you've got really no shot of it. So just do yourself a favor, put yourself in the best position you possibly can when it comes to resales. This one is called Budget Blinds. It's probably a name that most people in the country have heard of. They are the industry leader in the home improvement, window improvement category. Hundreds, we're going to show you in a little bit. I think it's over 200 franchise owners throughout the country. I do know for a fact that when we're trying to find territories that might be available for budget blinds, there's virtually none. They're almost sold out in the country. So the only way to get access to become a franchisee for this really powerful brand is through resales. So resales possess many benefits for aspiring business owners. You've obviously got the established cash flow. If you buy the right business, they've got experienced employees, systems in place, brand awareness, to name a few. So this is Budget Blinds. As we said, very well established. Established in 1996, over 1,200 franchise units. I was way off. Okay, they are way more than I thought. 1,200 franchise units. I can't think of, other than quick serve restaurants, I can't think of a brand that has more sold units than Budget Blinds. Again, they've been around for a while, but they're doing a lot of things right. They're the industry leaders in providing high quality window coverings to consumers in a convenient way and at prices that fit almost every budget. This resale is in Southeast Florida. The asking price of the business is $700,000. Is it negotiable? Of course it is, because a person's selling it and a person's buying it, but it's listed at $700,000. Annual sales at $2.1 million. As I said at the top, you've got to verify that on your own, but that's what the claim is. Cash flow obviously is available, but you have to request that information. You got to come through us. We can't make that available here. And ultimately, it's really in the hands of the seller. So the way these processes work is we would help introduce you to that seller. And once the seller believes you're a strong candidate, they will make all that information available to you, because obviously the seller knows you need that information before you can make any decisions one way or the other. What else is really interesting about this brand, when you hear about Budget Blinds, you don't really think about the commercial component to it, but this is both residential and commercially owned window treatment opportunities. So quite the opportunity to grow. And my guess is there's still a lot of meat on the bone, even in the territory that's established. Budget Blinds is owned by a company called Home Franchise Concepts, which is a family of brands. They own several non-competing brands under their umbrella. And they're also letting us know today that they have there's other strong budget blind resales and also resales of other home franchise concepts in areas listed below: Central Florida, West Washington State, Southwest North Carolina, and other areas of North Carolina, up in Canada, in Calgary, Alberta, New York, Maine, Arizona, and much more. So again, if you have an appetite for resales, which again, if you've heard us talk on this podcast, really mostly people who have prior business experience are more qualified to invest in a resale. But again, franchiseempire.com/resale will get you to our site, and we can guide you and help you get the information that you need if in fact you're interested in this tremendously successful resale. Again, some of this I'm repeating, but I want to cover it, make sure that I give this to you guys. It's a very rare opportunity, obviously. It doesn't typically hit the open market, and they often get scooped up by neighboring franchisees. So this is rare. With such an established franchise system, once you get in, you'll likely be able to buy nearby territory as owners look to retire, allowing you to build an empire through acquisitions. It's definitely true that a franchisor would rather have fewer franchise owners owning more than more franchise owners owning less, because that way they know that the brand is successful because people are going to continue to reinvest. So once you get in the door and with this resale, sky's the limit for opportunities to grow your business into a huge empire. Obviously, with Budget Blinds, you've got a well-known brand name. So national advertising is the primary driver of this new business. You're not doing it alone, of course. You're doing it with the support of the franchisor. So last year, they spent nearly $10 million on internet, radio, and television advertising to generate new business, which drove over 400,000 inquiries. Again, going back to the simplistic means of being a franchise owner, you're not in business, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. These guys have figured it out a long time ago. So hop on board because they know what they're doing. And again, as we said, they're owned by Home Franchise Concept, family of other like-minded business owners to rely on that can provide referrals, have a way to scale your empire by adding on complementary businesses. So again, being under the umbrella of Home Franchise Concepts allows you to grow your business horizontally. In other words, grow your territories, or even vertically. You can maybe purchase other territories or other brands within your territory. Really a lot of ways to skin a cat and get successful with franchising. So again, if you're curious, please get in touch with us. If you can scroll down, Rahman, just a little bit. I think we may have our website there. We have a list of over 100 resales in various brands spanning the United States and Canada. And if you want to click the link below, we can tell you what may be available in your area, and that is www.franchiseempire.com/resales. We'd love to have a conversation with you guys out there on this, and we'd love to be able to put you in front of the sellers. So thank you for that. So we'll move on, but a big part of our weekly newsletter is our discussion on resales. We also like to share testimonials, because one of the major reasons why we are in this business is because of the joy we get helping people meet and find their goals through franchising. This candidate, Peter, and his buddies, they weren't just looking for a business venture. These guys are very successful business owners in walks of life out in Long Island. They wanted something they could do together as lifelong friends, and they thought being business partners would be the next step for them. Something very meaningful. They were seasoned entrepreneurs from Long Island. They all had successful ventures under their belts separately. They knew what to look for. They knew what it took to be successful. They were looking for something very simple with a scalable model with strong support behind it. And we showed them several different brands because that describes a lot of the brands that we work with. So after looking at several home service brands, that was right in their alley, home service brands, a brand called Pink's Window Services stood out. And I think we've spoken about Pink's before. The model was straightforward. The ramp-up time was really quick. In many cases, when you're investing in a brand like Pink's, you can be running your business within 60 to 90 days from the day you sign, which is extraordinary. And most importantly, the team behind Resale Brands, which is the parent company behind the brand, made a tremendous impression on Peter and his colleagues. They were very transparent, tremendous hands-on support, gave Peter and his partners the confidence they needed to move forward. And it was just great to see that collaboration come to fruition. Now, as they get ready to launch their business, This tight-knit trio is ready to bring Pings to their local community and start their next chapter together. Very strong congratulations to Peter and his team. My guess is that after they do a tremendous job, they're going to be looking back to Resi Brands to see if there's any other brands they could add. Because again, the simplicity of some of these home service brands is very, very appealing. So nice job, Peter and team. And we're really glad at Franchise Empire that we had a very small role in helping you guys realize this goal for yourself. So nice job. And I did tell Peter that, or I did ask Peter to make sure I get invited to the grand opening, because I'm always looking for opportunities to go out and meet with these franchise owners. So stay tuned on that. Okay, you know how we do a franchise of the week every week as well, and there's a variety to choose from. This week, we're going to talk about Citywide Facility Solutions, a very unique brand. We may have discussed this weeks or months ago, but it's always good to bring back because it's great to keep top of mind. Well, what is Citywide Facility Solutions? They offer commercial janitorial services, carpet cleaning, window washing, and maintenance services for commercial and retail buildings. Look at it this way. If you were a Citywide franchise owner and one of your customers owned a big warehouse, 30,000 square foot warehouse, the owner of that building would hire you as the Citywide franchise owner, and you would be responsible for maintenance on anywhere up to 20 different verticals in the maintenance service criteria. So this isn't managing plumbing. This isn't managing painting. This is managing every janitorial service that there is. It requires very sophisticated owners, and more than likely people who have run multi-million-dollar businesses in the past. However, we have seen some new franchisees do really well as well, but very complex, not a simple business to get started in, but as you'll see in a minute, pretty darn lucrative. So a little bit about this brand. They started in 1961 in Kansas City, been operating franchises since 2001. There's no parent company or predecessors. What you see is what you get. No company-owned locations, 98 franchise units. If you want to say why 98, not more, gigantic territories is part of the reason. The franchise fee is $70,000, which is pretty standard. Royalties 5%, which is really attractive because it's actually lower than most. There is a national marketing fee that you'll be really glad to pay when you see the leads that get generated. The total investment for this brand to get started is between $226,000 and $393,000. And obviously, you'll learn what's included in that investment. As our most franchise agreements, this is a 10-year agreement. And I want to show you a little bit about the revenue potential of this brand. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm sorry, Rockwan, I went too quickly. So who makes an ideal candidate for Citywide? It's ideal for people with business-to-business sales, operation, or management experience. Its industry experience is not required, but my little asterisk here is if you've never operated in a business-to-business environment, it may be a learning curve that might be something that may be challenging. Again, everybody's different, but this is a business-to-business. There's no residential. There's not a residential component to this brand. But you don't need to be in this industry. But like I said, business-to-business sales or operations or management experience, probably pretty key. You need to have strong leadership skills. You have to become comfortable managing teams and vendor relationships, and sometimes several teams at the same time in the same day. Focus on strategy and delegation, not day-to-day service work. I'll repeat that. The successful franchise owner is not showing up at the site fixing anything. They are spending their time driving the business and driving the strategy to grow. Being good at developing relationships, skilled at building and maintaining client relationships, values trust, communication, and long-term partnerships. It's just really critical in this business because of the complexity. You need to be able to follow a process, follow the proven systems to scale the business efficiently, organized and operationally minded. It's really true on all franchise brands, folks. If you're not willing to follow the playbook, don't get involved. This one again, obviously with the complexity of this brand makes that even more important. What do you need to be quite financially qualified here? 150,000 liquid, 500,000 net worth. Obviously, you can have a partner. This doesn't have to be you, but your partnership group has to meet those financial qualifications and prepared to invest in a territory and support the initial ramp-up costs, which goes back up to a few minutes ago. We talked about the all-in number that obviously will be shown to you in the FDD in item 7, which really is where you see all the costs associated with starting up and growing your business. We suggest that you're growth-oriented, committed to building a scalable, recurring revenue business, seeking long-term equity, not just short-term income. It's really hard to get your arms wrapped around citywide if you don't want it to be big. It's just by nature big because of the customers that you're seeking and the services that you're providing. So now, I was getting very excited earlier, so I'll slow myself down. Let's look at the financials here. This table is taken right out of the brand new FDD that just came out last month, actually April 29th. So yeah, last month. And again, this is part of the entire FDD, but we just kind of brought out a little bit. But let me give you a little introduction here to what we're going to show you. The figures below represent the average gross sales generated by the sale of citywide services made by the franchisees that satisfy the average gross sales reporting criteria, which will be defined below, during the 12-month periods ending December 31st, 2023 and December 31st, 2024. So only people that operated for that year are included in these numbers. But boy, just take a look at these numbers. These are average gross sales in 23 and 24, okay? In 23, the highest franchise owner did $33 million. I'm going to make a bet that it was the same person in 2024, but I don't know that. They did $51 million in gross sales. The lowest, and I think when I say this, it's almost like you almost have to work harder to be the lowest than the highest, but 373 and 461. So even the lowest franchise owner grew by a considerable percentage. And if you just take the median, it's 4.9 and 4.7. But if you just take the average, which is really what people talk about, in 2023, the average franchise owner of Citywide did $7.8 million, and in 2024, 8.9. It's a booming business. The growth is unbelievable, and it is readily available for folks like you to jump on. Let's talk a little bit about the benefits here. It's very proven. 60 years in the industry gives you the confidence to invest in a brand that has a proven track record and a long-standing history. Tremendous support. You'll have a strong support system, including training, marketing, ongoing support. That ongoing support is in the field of field operations and coaching. So they're holding your hand through each step of the way. 20 different services to open doors and generate income. So talk about multiple revenue streams. Literally 20 different streams of revenue. And once you get cooking with a business like this, you could have 20 crews out there on one day, all working with different clients. National accounts. Most markets in the United States have existing national accounts that are being run by the corporate team if there is no franchise in that area. They're immediately awarded to any new franchisee who takes over these markets. Let me just say that again. While you are running your business, the corporate team is soliciting national account business to drop it in the lap of the franchise owners once they take over that territory. That's what you call free business based on your relationship with the franchisor. Not too many times do you get that in your life. And again, extremely high gross sales. I don't need to repeat that, but the majority of franchisees are lucky to get over. Let me read this differently. A majority of franchisees in other types of businesses are lucky to get over $1 million in gross sales. And frankly, in many, many brands, that's the average, which is still very healthy because it's high margin, but not for Citywide, where the average revenue was $8.9 million. Boy, if I was 20 years younger, I'd probably be jumping all over that, but I'm too old at this point. So to see if the franchise, if this is available in your territory, or just check on the availability of all franchise in your area, please go to www.franchiseempire.com/check territory. Again, I'll repeat it one more time. If you want to check citywide availability or other availability of excellent franchise brands in your area, www.franchiseempire.com/check territory. Thank you. Okay, Rahman, let's get ready to wrap it up. So on our Zero to Profitable Franchise, which again, we described to you guys earlier, episode 107, which we suggest you look at, was our fearless leader, Tarek Johnson, talking about how franchising works. And we use this example from Subway. So you probably walked into a Subway or a Taco Bell and thought, geez, who owns this place? And I think when we were running our Five Guys business, I think people did the same thing. Or maybe you've wondered how franchise owners actually make money and how much it really costs to open one. So in the video, if you go watch it, Tarek will break down how a franchise business actually works using Subway as an example. He'll show you exactly what franchising is, how the relationship between franchisors and franchisees work, what the real startup costs look like. Spoiler, it's way more than just the franchise fee, and how franchisees make serious income. So again, if you're thinking about buying a franchise, this video will give you the blueprint that most people never see. And again, not for nothing, but you also get access now to Tarek's Zero to Profitable Franchise model just by getting on and setting a time to speak to one of our brokers here, who their only goal is to help make you guys wealthy by finding you the right franchise brand. I think, is there anything left, Rahman, or no? I believe that's it. So, sorry if I was a little disjointed. Again, I didn't have my partner in crime, but Rahman, as always, did an amazing job. Again, franchiseempire.com/whatever you want to do. Territory checks, resales. And we'd love to be able to get an opportunity to sit and talk to any of you guys out there at any point in time. So at this point, I'm going to say we took about our 30-minute time. Thank you for joining us. Please like it if you found anything valuable. And we will see you guys all next week. Rahman, thank you, and we will see you guys later. Have a great night. Bye-bye.